Hi guys, so I'm responding to Kyle. He made a comment on my video that I did about Western women are great business partners, but foreign women are great wives. And what I was talking about, if you look at the video, I mentioned some of the things I purchased for my now fiance, but her family, based on the ceremony that I did, that she, you know, insisted she wanted me to do. Um, my fiance, her family now considers me her wife, her husband, and she's my wife. So they have, as a family unit, it's like a village. Takes a village to raise a child and all that stuff. A lot of that stuff is still true in Africa. Now, because I'm back in the United States and she's still in Madagascar, uh, her family has a duty and obligation to me to make sure that um, my fiance fulfills the requirements that I set forth before doing the ceremony. And the Malagasy ceremony is called Fanateram Budion Budiundri. All right. I hope I didn't mess it up too a whole lot with, but it's one of those ceremonies that my fiance really wanted me to do, um, as part, as part of the, her heritage. Um, if I was serious about going any further with a relationship with her, and which was not a problem for me because I actually went there with the intent of going through that process because we've been communicating for a long time. And one of the thing, with the pandemic, we didn't really get to do much but communicate. Um, uh, so one of the things, the concerns of Kyle was that, well, maybe she's cooking for you and washing your clothes and doing all that stuff because, um, she's doing all that stuff. But what if I stop giving her gifts and then she stopped loving me or obeying me? Wouldn't that be the same as her being I being a sugar daddy and she being a prostitute? And it would it I had thought about those things prior to visiting her and taking them steps. But a lot of that stuff kind of, based on analysis, for lack of a better word, analyzing the overall situation where I'm speaking to an aunt, I'm speaking to an uncle who's a minister, and building relationships with different members of her family as before there to take such a drastic step. Um, she insisting that it was important to her that I do those steps, not just come there and visit and do all the adult things that we end up doing. Um, is because a prostitute or a sugar baby wouldn't be interested in doing introducing me to a family. We were in a city, that ceremony. We had to go to a whole other city and then drive for like 3 hours through some of the worst terrain in the world to go to her ancestral land, to do that ceremony. And I will post a video about with a little bit of that ceremony. It's like 10 minutes long, but it was much longer. That was just what someone captured for me. And we, to do so, to go through those lengths and invite about 200 people, um, family members who had to travel at their own expense. And keep in mind, these people are not rich people, and they weren't getting any money from me to show up at this ceremony. They came on their own expense. Hundreds of people. It was like 200 people, roughly, to this ancestral land. To think that she would go to that much length to ensure a sugar daddy prostitute relationship, um, is beyond me. If she did that with those things in mind, um, then damn, she's good. Um, but I had to take that into account. You analyze the situations and the actions and things like that, and who's involved and the costs involved with such a thing. I had no the cost for the family to get there to that ancestral land is significantly more expensive as a whole than what I spent in my entire vacation there. Um, Even the money that I spent on her, and so in that regard, I have to say no. Um, and even if that was her intent, what I spent on her um, saved me a significant amount of money um, compared to if I had done it on my own, just gone there on my own. To get the same experiences would have cost me way, way, way more money than what I spent. So if that is her, if I were to take it in a pessimistic way, I still made out on top. I went on a great vacation. I messed around with a very beautiful young woman who was a virgin when she and spent very little money traveling to up and down part of the country for a month, um, where she was protecting me my money from people who would otherwise scam me, and allowing me to stay for free at her mother's house while I was in one city visiting where we did the ceremony. So overall, I saved a shitload of money. If it was simply a vacation and it was like a temporary sugar daddy, sugar baby thing, but you know, to me, it's clearly not the case to me. And it's okay for people to be pessimistic because I understand. I too had trauma of Western interaction with women, even though I my relationships has never been traumatizing or I never lost anything. Actually, I gained more from some of my relationships than I've lost. Um, so I wasn't traumatized into running into the MGTOW mindset. I just developed that over time, and it aligned with MGTOW. So with the MGTOW philosophies and stuff, so forth. So I am just not a monk. I still want a relationship. I just now approach that with a MGTOW mindset, relationships, um, where I'm not taking a whole lot of crap. And I didn't really take a whole lot of crap, and I didn't like simp out. I didn't really like say, oh, let's pander to all the stuff she wanted. She earned everything that I bought her. I told her she earned everything that I bought her. I didn't buy these things just because out of the kindness of my heart. She took care of me when I was sick. She and her aunt made sure I got to the doctor. She made sure I had my medicine. And when I was like knocked out for days, sick, she didn't take my money and run. She never went through my bags. She didn't even know what I had in my. She didn't even know anything about the other money that I have on my cards and none of that stuff. Um, because I set things in a certain way, in certain ways, where if it's touched, I know that somebody has been through my stuff. And she didn't go through any of my stuff when I was sick. She made sure her family would come and made sure I was okay in and out throughout the day when I was sick. And that's not what a sugar baby do. At least not by Western standards. If that's what sugar babies do by African standards, then they're damn good. And they go through a lot and spend a lot and lose a lot to more than they gain. Anyhow, if you have any questions, ask it in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe. I am approaching this relationship with a glass half full rather than a glass half empty. And I have also approached this relationship um, with an understanding that the traumas of dating Western women, some of the horror stories that's told and shown all over the internet, that is real in America. And there are all cases where you get brides or even husbands in foreign countries like certain parts of Africa where it can also be a hustle for them to get to the great United States of America, and things can go south fairly quickly. However, with in the process of those things going south, if things in the process before things go south, there is a period of joy and happiness, and I'm willing to embrace that. And if things go south, I have already prepared, have things in place as insurances for things to go south. As for example, my properties in the state of Maryland, any property that I own before any marriage is not considered marital assets, so they cannot be touched, and that's already written into law. So anybody I married can't touch what I value the most, as far as materialistic things would be my houses. Um, as far as my investments and stuff and stocks and IRA and things like that, a prenuptial agreement will take care of that. The only risk I would see myself taking is if I were to buy land and build or property in Madagascar. I would have to buy it under her name, and if we go a separate ways, everything stays with her. That's uh, that's one of those statistical risks that I will not be making anytime soon. The only time I would even consider taking a risk like that is if she becomes pregnant with my child. Then I could see myself doing something like that, because even if she leaves me, that property can go to my child, or even part of it could go to my child after I'm gone, or we've gone our separate ways. And that is way down the line. I'm not thinking about such an investment. More my investments I am making here in the United States, and it's staying, and it's all would be protected under the prenup. The properties that I have, that's also protected in my prenup. Um, I mean, that's protected by the state already. But if I decide to buy other properties later on, then the prenup will take care of those issues. Prenups do work. I have a lot of friends who are lawyers, and they say yes, it works once it's written and done properly. In the state of Maryland, the prenup is considered a contract. That's also like any other contract, so it's not something I could just throw out um, for like stupid reasons that you will find in other states. Anyhow, if you have any questions, ask it in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe. I will post that video of the ceremony, so yeah, so you can see how it's kind of boring, but you'll see what it's about, and you'll have a good day.